Here we go. Enjoy, everybody. 3, 2, 1.
Now, what about the guards? Good, a stunner. Aha! Quick into a ship. Tamasan has not seen the last of Kaibo Ren.
If you need anything, just yell walnut.
The morning stream. We knew then that we were being changed.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the morning stream. TMS for March 10th, 2020. I'm Scott Johnson. He's Brian Ibbett.
I'm exactly that. I know
Yeah.
my eye itches, my left eye itches, but I'm not going to scratch it.
You're not going to touch it because you're working on not touching
We're
your
not
face.
supposed to.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not supposed to touch our face.
Hey, by the way, so
I'll use the end of this drinking straw to touch it.
just despite all of the experts online, if you go on
Yes.
Twitter,
Oh, yeah, yes.
everyone's
all
an
the
expert.
Twitter virus experts.
Yeah.
Yes.
Here's the trick. I've got the trick, and this is as simple as this. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. These are things you already know.
Yeah.
The third thing is to understand this thing more fully by knowing this. It isn't so much that it's any worse than the regular flu. It's that we don't have immunity for it yet because it's brand new. Mm-hmm. And that means a lot more people will catch it. And if a lot more people will catch it, then percentage-wise, more people will die from it because, again, we've never had it before. So that's why you should wash your hands, keep your hands out of your face, and try not to go to places where you know people are sick, or stay home if you think you have it or if you have it. Mm-hmm. Just be nice. And
Wait a minute. Are you saying all we need is like a little bit of common sense?
That's what I'm
Is that
saying.
what you're trying to tell me?
That's exactly what I'm saying. So people wearing
That
mustard
seems
gas,
too easy, Scott.
people wearing mustard gas masks and freaking raiding the Costco for all they have and punching a lady to take a roll of something. Stop
But I
it.
like toilet paper.
Yeah. They're all going to laugh at you.
They're all gonna laugh at you. Hold on. They're all gonna. Oops. Hold on. Wrong button. They're all gonna laugh at you.
I like the false start one best. It was good.
They're all gonna. They're all gonna.
Yeah.
They're all gonna
laugh at you.
There's the one.
Oh, I didn't go high enough. They're all gonna laugh at you.
There you go. There you go.
I need to go high.
It's important to check back with the source material occasionally.
It is
Make
exactly.
Sure, make
Can we
sure
get
we're
a?
on
Can we
track.
get a real quick check? Jill.
Okay.
Jill.
Okay, hold on. Which one is that on? Okay, here we go. Here's the tab. All right.
Jill. Jill.
You know what? You were
Okay.
right on. You had it.
Yeah.
Give me a
Jill.
give me a berry.
Barry.
Barry.
In this case, I'm gonna argue that mine's better.
All right, give me a Jill.
We did that. By the way, we did that all night at Beercade on Friday night with the meetup. Anytime we were talking about Barry, go Barry.
Of course.
Yeah.
I would too if I were there. That would have been great. Give me a Jill sandwich. One more Jill sandwich.
You were almost a Jill sandwich.
You were almost a Jill sandwich.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
good.
Yep. Your memory of those clips are pretty good.
Mega Man, it's time to get to the Weda room.
I don't have that one handy, dang it.
Oh no!
I know. It's like you did it.
one
You
of my
wasted your
favorites.
performance.
The Weda room.
Also, that's a great title. Brian isn't high enough is a great title. Nice work, guys. All right. Hey, so we're gonna get going here. I was up way too late last night. I'm very tired. And you might say, well, Scott, was it because you were, I don't know, prepping for the oncoming virus? No. Were you?
Right, or, working on your taxes. You were working on your taxes, weren't you?
No. I was I preparing for my day today? No. No, I was looking for ferrite dust. That's what I was doing. Yeah.
More ferrite dust.
I was playing a lot of No Man's Sky last night. I don't know why this particular playthrough has got me so freaking locked in, but man, I'm really enjoying it. And I started, I started fresh, so I'm still sort of doing a lot of the initial stuff. I haven't bought a second ship or any of that stuff yet. But yeah, I can't stop playing it, and it's a bad thing for me. I need to probably slow my roll a little bit. And,
Now, do you get the living ship? Like, do you grow it right off the bat, or do you have to?
You can
collect enough materials to get the stuff to make a living ship.
I mean, you have to get the stuff to make it, but you can pretty quickly mainline it if you want to. I haven't done that yet because I need to actually find out how you do. I assume the game at some point tells you how or introduces the concept.
Probably.
And it hasn't done that yet. But that game is ridiculously addictive right now. And it took them a while. It took them 2.5 years of additional work to do it. But well done, guys. You made a game that I can't stop
still
playing.
After this many years, and they're brilliant, right? To be able to add content to this game, although they're not really making money when you get the free updates and download the updates.
No, this is all on the back
bought.
of just sales of the game.
Yeah.
Like if the game sells, they got money for it, and it sold really well in the initial stages. But it was a broken mess when it launched, and they knew that, and they've also really stuck. I mean, this is the strength of a small dedicated dev team, where they're like, it wasn't great when it launched, and you could put some of that blame on Sony because Sony put so much pressure on them to launch when they wanted them to, and all that stuff. But it's freaking great. I love it.
They did well. They really did well.
It's very, very good. Oh, someone says. Let's see. Where is it? Oh, Doc Medpot says, slowly working on my living ship this week. Good luck, Doc Medpot. May your living ship be yours sooner than later, sir.
Exactly. Nice.
Doc Medpot.
Doc Medpot.
I want to know where his name came from. I'd really like to.
I bet he's a medical marijuana doctor.
Oh, all right. Doc
Not
Med.
a doctor.
Doctor?
Not a doctor.
So, doctor, medical, pot. Okay.
Yes. That's my guess anyway, yes.
I like where you went with that. All right, we got a couple of emails from Free Hotel Room.
I love it. Yes.
You know him as Bob, but I guess our listeners know him as Free Hotel Room.
Formerly, what was he before? Before Free Hotel Room, he was.
What was he before that?
Shoot.
Right.
He had a different.
It was a different nickname. What was it?
A different nickname, different chat room name. Oh shoot, can't remember what it was. I'm sure somebody in the chat room will remember.
I don't remember either. But I used to give him so much crap with it, and now I don't remember it.
Yeah.
Crap.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways,
Eeyore? Was it Eeyore?
It may as well have been Eeyore. His subject was, it was Reboat Motel Room. Well done, Benjamin. Nebraska Medical Center cares for U.S. corona virus patients, rather. Nebraska leads the world in this case. So because we were talking about why the hell has Nebraska got so many cases of the coronavirus? He says the American passengers diagnosed with coronavirus infection who were evacuated from the Japanese-based cruise ship are getting specialized care at the Nebraska hospital and not part of the large quarantine at Fairfield's Travis Air Force Base, according to military officials. Those 13 individuals, along with 328 U.S. passengers of the Diamond Princess cruise ship, docked in Yokohama, Japan, were flown to a 20-bed national quarantine unit at the University of Nebraska's Medical Center. So far, they are showing only mild symptoms of the disease. One sicker person is getting a higher level of care at the hospital's biocontainment unit, which cared for Ebola patients in 2014. His point being, they are uniquely, that particular facility is uniquely equipped to handle such things. And so that makes sense, right?
Right.
They have a bunch of people there, not because it's mayhem in Nebraska.
Exactly. Which I think was what I speculated. I think I said that because we said, why are there so many cases in Nebraska? And I think I said, well, it's probably where they moved a lot of the quarantine cruise ship people.
Right, exactly. I think you did. You said something along those lines.
Exactly.
And so we got a little confirmation.
Not a correction.
Not a correction. However, this is where he takes us to task, okay?
Yes, and I've got thoughts on this too. So
okay, this is on names. He says in his subject, people and their names. Seems innocuous enough, right? No big deal. Here's the message. You should do a 2-minute show review for errors and corrections, like Nebraska, cruise ships, coronavirus patients, and pronunciations. He says, Jay and Mark Duplass from the Horse Girl and Room 104. Duplass is not pronounced Duplass. It is
I know Duplass is the way I pronounced it.
Oh, Duplass.
And I don't know where I'd heard that it was pronounced Duplass, but he is correct. It is Duplass.
Duplass.
With the emphasis on the last syllable.
Yeah.
Is Duplass.
I don't even like the name. It's a horrible name.
It is, man.
I don't
There's,
like it.
Yeah, I mean, you look at that name and it's like, yeah, that's not a name that somebody should have.
Yeah.
You should Duplass.
Yeah.
Duplass.
Then he says, and here's where I take issue. I do. Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Ian is never Ian. It is always Ian. No. Incorrect. Go talk to. I have sat down and spoken with shook his hand before virus concerns with Ian Hazzikostas at Blizzard Entertainment, and his name is Ian, or excuse me, what'd I say? Ian.
His name is pronounced Ian?
It is
Ian
pronounced
Hazzikostas?
Ian Hazzikostas. They don't call him Ian.
Okay, well, specifically the clip that I played on Wednesday of the show I watched that I was recommending, Mythic Quest, Raven's Banquet. The main character his name is Ian, and even explains during the show why it's Ian and not Ian.
Oh, I see. So take that.
Yeah, so take that. By the way, Tally Zarella asks, do you guys remember where that wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable reference comes from? I bet most people don't. It was the flight attendant movie that had Mike Myers in it as a flight attendant.
Yeah, it was not a good movie, and I think it kind of tanked, but that one thing really stuck out in it. And
right. Was it Soul Plane? Was he? I remember it was an airplane movie, but I didn't think it was Soul Plane.
Is it Soul Plane?
No, because
Soul Plane's like
white. And I think that was the whole point of that movie, is that it was like
hold on, we're gonna find this. Mike Myers.
Let's see. Flight on the View from the Top or something like that. Yeah, Gwyneth Paltrow was definitely in it as another flight attendant.
What movie contained the line? Here it is. It is from A View from the Top.
Yeah!
Well done, Brian. Well done.
I got us some points at Geek Bowl because I remembered the movie Welcome to the Doghouse just from the word wiener dog.
Oh, goodness.
Yes, it was a couple of kids in that movie. Heather Matarazzo, I think, was one of them, and her little brother kept calling her wiener dog, and I was like, "Oh, I think that's Welcome to the Doghouse." And
nice.
Nobody else at the table remembered it, and I got us some points.
Excellent work. Here it is. View from the Top, 5.2 out of 10. Did not do great. It's got your Gwyneth Paltrow, Christina Applegate, Kelly Preston, and yes, Mike Myers is in that. It's a small role though. I think he's a captain or something. Oh, Mark Ruffalo's in that. Candice Bergen.
Wow, it is the white Soul Plane.
Yeah,
like, not named any actors of color in there.
Rob Lowe is in there, little Rob Lowe business.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Why haven't we watched this thing?
Sounds terrible.
Yeah, why haven't we watched this thing?
I don't know. But that one line, just like it's like the one thing that transcended the film and everybody uses all the time now. So
yep. Let's see. Well, it's funny if you do a search for that on Just Watch. The I know I'm constantly touching I'm scratching I'm like there's something on my eyelashes, and I'm using my knuckles. I'm not using the tips of my fingers because that apparently is like more.
Oh yeah, you'll never get a virus on your knuckle.
Less contaminated.
Yeah.
But you do a search on Just Watch for View from the Top, and I just got to show you the two very similar movie posters that come one right after the other on this thing.
All right.
I'm putting it in the chat room, but also put it in our Discord.
Nice. I'll click it and then put it in the thing. Put
Okay.
the stuff into the thing. Oh, there it is. A screenshot, eh? Okay, let's take a look here.
Screenshot.
I'm gonna put that up here. Okay, take a look at this, chat, if you're watching.
So the second movie that comes through is called The View from Tall.
Oh, weird.
And it's also got somebody very prominently in front of a bunch of other people wearing different colors, this time sepia toned.
That's
standing in the background.
crazy.
Yeah,
That's a little too close
a little too close.
for the comfort, for the comfort that
That's right.
that I have or don't have.
All right, so Ian, I will argue with you on that one, that Ian is absolutely an acceptable pronunciation of Ian if that person's name specifically is Ian.
Yeah, they have to go by that name, but yeah, I'm with Brian on this. Totally. Okay, so
Yes.
so two down, one to go.
Right. Okay.
Halle
All right, what else
Berry
do you-
is not Holly Berry. It is pronounced Sally, Bally, Rally, or Tally like Hallie. We know that.
Yeah, I think I might have said Holly Berry, or maybe Nicole said Holly Berry.
Maybe. Nicole probably did. I think you know who Halle Berry is.
Halle Berry is. I think if in a moment of weakness, I might have called her Holly Berry.
In a
But
moment
it-
of weakness.
In a moment of weakness. But Jeannie says I always say Holly. Is it me or is Scott
I think
always
you know
says
what I
Holly?
think it is when you say it fast. You just say it fast. Do it.
The
the right way.
Halle Berry. Halle Berry.
See,
Halle Berry.
it kind of comes out a little mixed, so it's okay.
Halle, holy.
Yeah, he didn't get into the boths or the waints or any of that.
Yeah, I do say that when I pedal faster, my tank goes faster.
Yeah, your tank goes faster. It's fast
My
tank.
tank goes faster.
Yeah, it's a good tank.
Faster tank.
World of taints. Iraq. Then he says this: Iraq and Iran are Iraq and Iran. They are not Iraq and Iran. All right.
Or if you're talking about a flock of seagulls.
Fine. But see, this is the great thing about the English language. There are actually very few things that are great about it because it's kind of overly complicated. We have words like two, and two, and they're all different
there
spellings.
and there.
Yeah, there and there. Like, it's kind of lame. But pronunciation-wise, it's fine. It doesn't matter. It's a living language. Let it flow over you there, free hotel room. Let it seep into your veins. Let it be a part of you. Be one with the language. Okay? All right.
What do you think about, and he does, say we should have a 2-minute show review for errors and corrections. What if at the end of every episode we played Elton John's "Sorry Seems to Be the Hardest Word" very lightly and very quietly, and we issued corrections on everything we got wrong for the entire episode?
I love that idea. That'll be like the end of an MTV special, like doing
Closing.
Closing
Oh no, I guess
time.
that's "Sorry Seems to Be."
Yeah.
Oh, we could do the what is that? I'm sorry. That's this would be the first correction because that's not "Sorry Seems to Be the Hardest Word." That is Patsy Cline. I'm sorry. I think. I'm sorry. So sorry.
Yeah, that's Patsy Cline.
Yeah.
Sure. I think. I mean, I'm not a big Patsy Cline person, but yes. I'm not a big Patsy Cline person. He also says, at the end, he says, "Come on, man." Well, now let me correct
I like
you.
that. I do like that.
Let me correct him. That should be "come on, man," not C-M-O-N, man.
Yeah, no, that works. Oh, I see what you're saying.
I'm saying if he wants to be Mr. Correctamundo, why doesn't he
that's an appropriate contraction of "come on."
I disagree. He should just
C
say
apostrophe M-O-N?
I mean, it is, but he should just say "come on."
Well, there should be. Oh, I see what you're saying. Well, there should also be a comma after "come on." Come on, man.
Oh yeah, come on, comma, man. Exactly.
It's
There's
not-
another
It's
one.
not. Come on, man.
Right.
Come on, man.
Also, he uses. Let's see. Can I get him on this one?
What are you gonna say?
Shoot. He's consistent. Normally, when you put like numbers and then spelled out numbers in the same paragraphs, that's bad. You want to pick one or the other.
You're supposed to do spell out any number under 20, and then you can use numerical digits for 21 and higher.
All right. Well, then he screwed up with 2.
Oh, Zoe Brings Bacon says it's under 10. In any case,
Oh.
he said a 2-minute show review.
Yeah, and he put a 2.
He should have spelled out the word 2.
Yeah, don't put the numeral in there, free hotel room. We're going to start charging you for your hotel rooms. All right. Anyway, having a little fun at...
Correction number 2. I guess it should be 10 or under. I thought it was under... Oh, Brenda Lee. I thought it should be under 20. I thought it was 20.
I never heard that ever of any... I always just thought you were supposed to be consistent. If you're going to use numbers, use numbers. If you're not, then don't. Like, I thought it was just...
because you wouldn't do like, oh, you should do a 2-minute show TWO and then spell out 19 or 2020.
Oh, good point. That's a good point.
Oh, under 10 and when it starts a sentence. That's right. Okay, you know what? It's exactly right.
Under 10 when it starts a sentence, but what if it's mid-sentence? What if it's later?
I should be writing these down for our new "Sorry" segment that we hear at the end of the show.
Yeah, after I play Closing Time by what's their names. I'm going to do that first.
Closing Time, Semisonic.
This is the end of another MTV reality show. All right, there you go.
Okay.
That's your fun business at the top of the show. Thanks, Free Hotel Room, for the laughs. And now, this.
Sound to me you've been reading a lot of newspapers printed in Washington, D.C.
That's all true, and it's brought to you by It's the News.
Brought to you by Soundography. Just published a brand new episode today on the feed at soundography.com. Hammond and I listened to Extreme for one entire week. Yes, Gary Sharon's band before and after he was a member of Van Halen. You know that song More Than Words?
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
That's All I Knew by Extreme prior to this week.
Mm.
You know what? There's some good stuff in there. There was some not so good stuff in there. Find out what we thought by listening to Soundography at soundography.com.
Wait.
More than words
could have me. Wait, what?
Yeah.
What was that with when he was just? What was the band? It wasn't Gary Sharon on his own.
No, that was with Extreme.
Was it Extreme?
Yeah, the
Why-
band was Extreme.
Why am I thinking of a different band?
Because I said that like 11 times a minute ago.
No, I know, but that song seems like it comes from a different band. Something with a horse in the name. Running. Shit. I don't know why this is so hard. So in my
I
head.
don't know any. Here comes another correction. I don't know anything about any other bands that Gary Sharon was in that had
Had a horse in it. I don't know.
I've
either.
been in a band with a horse in its name. I can't tell you what was the name.
That's perfect. Jamie's getting all these freebies. Also, I had lunch with Hammond the other night.
You did.
Or the
Did
other
you?
day.
And he's.
Yeah.
Are you feeling all right?
Yeah, it was a good time. We
He's sick. He was in the ER yesterday for.
whoa.
He's got a very severe infection, lung infection.
Jeez, he told me he was all better. We were sitting there and he was going, "Yeah, I just had some kind of flu, so I'm feeling pretty good."
Respiratory infection. Oh, he lied, man. Boy, I hope you didn't hug him or shake his hand or anything. Hope you didn't touch anything that he gave you, that he handed to you.
I think I put my arm around his shoulder and squeezed him a little. Yeah, yeah. I'm symptom free so far, though. I think I'm okay.
Self-quarantine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's back home. He's doing a lot better and got some rest, and they've given him a ton of antibiotics. And we won't see him in Vegas, unfortunately. He's going to be going to Disneyland.
Oh yeah, for
Which,
his anniversary or something, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So good for him. Good for them, man. I'm envious.
For a guy that's sick, he sure horked down those fish and chips real fast. That way,
Well,
he was like,
didn't-
"Woo!"
did he inhale them? Maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's how he got a
Oh yeah, he aspirated on a fish stick. I don't know.
respiratory infection from a salmon lung is what he's got.
Yeah, you don't want that. It was nice hanging out with him, talking to him,
Yeah,
chilling
yeah.
like villains. It was fun.
So he will feel better, and we're wishing him the best. And get well, Hammond, and to help him get better, go listen to Soundography, soundography.com, and hear what we say about Extreme.
Extreme, the band Extreme. I was sure it was some band with a horse name in it. I was sure of it. Still kind of sure of it, but I'm sure I'm wrong.
Extreme Palomino.
No, it was like dark horse, running horse, horses.
Band of horses. Wild Stallions.
No, Wild Stallions. Well, it's not wild horse, wild horses, wild? Maybe wild.
All right, I'm going to look and see. Let me see. Is there something Gary Sharon, other bands that he might be associated with?
Oh, why am I so annoyed by this?
Hurt
Bands.
Smile, Tribe of Judah. Van Halen, of course. Extreme. Yeah. Wow, he owns Sharon.com. Well done. Good job, Gary.
Yeah, good job, Gary.
Gary.
A horse with no name. No. 50 Cent. No. Horse. I'm trying to find lists of bands with.
Horses in the name?
They don't have that, but there's a list of 97 bands with animals in their name. But that's not what I'm looking for. Actually, I can
not
search
what
that
I'm
for
looking
horse. Let's see. Horse. Like Crazy Horse or
Iron Horse? Oh, well, Neil Young had Crazy Horse. Is that who you're thinking of?
no? There's Horse
No,
Feathers. Neil Young and Crazy Horse. Yeah, it's not in here. All right, I must be just losing it. Fishbone. They count Fishbone. All right.
Well, it's an animal. Fish.
They count Beastie Boys.
It's Beast. A Beast is in there.
Yeah, but that's a general
By the way-
term. That doesn't work.
By the
does
way,
it?
the band that played the pre-party for Geek Bowl
Yeah.
was an all-female Beastie Boys tribute band. We didn't see them because we didn't go to the pre-party. We went and did other things. We did that. Well, we did the meetup at the video game place.
That's amazing. That's so cool.
What do you want to guess at what their name was?
Let's see. Who would well, people that want to fight for their right to party? What would they name themselves? Let's see.
All-female Beastie Boys cover band. Because I had better names than the one that they used. I think the one they used was pretty good. Yeah, the Breasty, TVZ Gone, the Breasty Boys was my one of my two choices.
The Beastie
And
Babes.
the Yeasty Boys was my other.
Oh man. Nice. Was it the Beastie
They're
Babes? The Beastie Babes?
No, the name they chose was She's Crafty.
Oh, that's dumb.
Yeah.
That's not it. I like the song.
Yeah.
The Crafty song's fine, but that's a dumb name. All right, so what would you have chosen? Give me yours.
Oh, I said the Breasty Boys.
Oh, that was one of yours. All right.
Yeah, or the Yeasty Boys.
Oh, okay. All right, I'll tell you. You know what? Your both are better.
Yeah.
I don't think they'd ever do Yeasty, but yeah, that's a good one.
No, that would be, that's not great.
Yeah. Okay, Vampire Weekend is in this list. I know that bats are an animal, but vampires, stone too far list.
Yeah.
I don't think that works.
Does not work. Does not count.
Right.
Quit trying to pad your lists there, BuzzFeed.
Yeah.
Or whoever.
Yeah. Def Leppard's in here. That counts, I guess. Bloodhound Gang. Bloodhound, I guess. Blue Oyster Cult. They're counting oysters. All right.
Oysters. Well, that's an animal.
It is, I guess. I mean, it's not a mammal, though, right? Doesn't always have to be mammals. I guess animal is... Okay, now I need to know the difference between an animal and a mammal. Hold on. Because what is the key difference, or is it just a
between
subset?
an animal and a mammal?
Yeah.
Are you asking that really?
Well, here's the yes.
A mammal is an animal, and
Right.
then like you've got mammals, reptiles. Well, you've got different.
That's what I'm saying. Animals like
Genus,
top
species.
Animals like top header, right? And
Animals top header.
But under that header, you have a separation you could make of mammals.
Yes.
Versus invertebrates or versus I don't even know what you call them, reptiles or whatever, cold-blooded creatures. Right. No, I knew that.
Okay.
But there's all kinds of info about this. Here you go. Animals, here, try this on for size. Animals could be either ectothermic or endothermic, but mammals are always endothermic, so warm-blooded, right? Only mammals have hair on their skin of all the animals. And then here's another fun fact. Only mammals have mammary glands and sweat glands out of the animals. That's
Correct.
not true. Dogs don't have sweat glands.
Sure they do. They're on their paws.
Wait, what?
Dogs sweat out of their paws.
They really do?
Yeah.
Well, why do they need that if they're doing the panting thing? Because I thought that was to make up for the lack of sweat.
This is the best. Like, basically, the last half hour of the show is going to be correction.
Yeah, 2 minutes. What are you talking about, Free Hotel Room? We're going to need a half an hour. Okay, how about this one? Oh, wait, I need to know more about the dog paws now. Hold on. Dog paws. Sweat. All right.
The morning science.
Do dogs sweat? Because I would really like to know. All right. How do dogs sweat? Here we go.
Sure.
Oh, he's a cutie. They got a nice picture there. All right. The answer is millions of sweat glands all over our bodies. We know that. Okay. Dogs have a type of sweat gland called the meiocrine glands, which are located in the dog's paw pads. Rarely a dog will sweat through those paws. Overall, though, dogs have fewer sweat glands than people do, making their other natural mechanisms for cooling off more important than sweating. So you're right; they'll sweat.
That's why they pant, to help cool off, so that they don't.
Right.
They don't just squirt water out of their paw pads.
Have you ever
squirt sweat?
That'd be amazing. That'd be amazing. All right. Well,
do you know where cows sweat? Where cows' sweat glands are?
Their teats. No.
Their nose. Oh, that would be really bad if it was like their teeth.
In their nose. Interesting.
Their nose. Yeah.
That's interesting. I didn't know that. Oh, that makes me feel even worse about my friend who did a thing. Have I told you this story? So I had this friend who had a cat. He had a cow.
Oh yeah.
And I tell you about the one he punched.
Like he just really went crazy over something. Like he overreacted to something. He had a cow.
No, it wasn't that.
Oh, okay.
No, I mean he had like an actual bovine animal in a barn.
Yes, I know. He owned a cow.
He owned a cow, and he used to go out there. He was so mean. I should say his name, but I won't.
Oh no!
He'd
I
go
don't
out
know
there,
if I want to hear if he was mean to his animal.
Well, they had these cow cubes that they fed him. They were basically, straw in cube form, the little green cubes.
Okay.
And he would go out there and he would throw them at the cow to get it to go over to the electric fence side. And they would just bean the cow with these things. Just bonk, bonk, bonk. Tell the cow would go over there and then touch the electric thing, go, and then come the other way. So it was awful.
Oh my God.
And then when it
That
would
is
come the other
awful.
way, he would coax it over and go, come here. And the cow would slowly lumber over, put its head over the little thing, and then he would rear back and he would square punch that thing in the nose. His fist was the size of its nose, and he would
So
punch
basically,
its nose.
he's a serial killer now, right? Like, this is what happens to those kinds of people.
Honestly, I think he might actually be in prison. I'm not kidding about that. I think he might be in
Well,
prison right now.
If for no other reason than how he treated that cow, he deserves it. He belongs there.
I kind
and
of
I
feel
hope
like it. Yeah.
I hope the guards coax him over to the bars, tase him, and then rear back and punch him as hard as they can in the face.
Yeah, he was an a-hole. We didn't really like that guy. And I remember at the time
Yeah.
saying, dude, that's not cool. How can we do that? Oh, I don't care. Cows are stupid, he kept saying. And I remember just thinking,
Tina, come over here and get your lasagna.
yeah. It's kind of that guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, his name was Richard, and that's all I'll say. It really was
Jeez.
Richard.
Well, it really was?
Yeah.
There you go.
We called him Rich.
He was
Yeah.
born into that lifestyle.
He was indeed. He was the one. He was there. He was one of the people that helped me out of the river when I broke my knee swinging across the river on my way home from my first day in junior high. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah. It's
You
a
know,
whole
I
other
question now. I wonder if he maybe helped cause the accident.
story. Peter Fisher, and that kid was Ted Cruz. Nice. Nice. You heard he's in self quarantine. We'll probably talk to Jerry about this a little bit, but
Oh, Ted Cruz is, yeah.
a whole bunch of those guys that went to that conservative CPAC deal, the whatever that is, a yearly convention thing, a bunch of them are self quarantining because they were in contact with somebody who's got raging version of the disease, and it's pretty great.
He's probably just wanted a vacation anyway.
Yeah, it's pretty great. One of them was on Air Force One and is now in self quarantine. That Matt Gaetz penis guy from Florida. So I don't know if they've met with Trump and hung around the president. I don't know if that means that he need and the word is he hasn't been tested at all. So I don't know, man. Yeah, it's the one they wouldn't let Romney come to because they're all mad at him. So he's probably like, "Whew, dodge that dirty bullet."
Nice.
Yeah.
Excellent. Oh,
Yeah, the guy that
I
wore
can't
the
wait to
gas
talk about
mask, the guy that the Matt Gaetz guy that wore the gas mask on the Congress floor just to make fun of it. He was making fun of it. Is now quarantined because he
excellent.
might have it.
Oh, man. Very rarely do you see karma work that quickly.
I know. Instant karma is the best kind of karma. I love it.
It really is. Yes, you were right, John Lennon.
Yeah, you know what I mean, Lemonade. They'll be fine. I'm not saying I want people to get sick. I'm saying smell the irony is what I'm saying. All right.
Exactly.
All
You
right.
make fun of the disease, and he'll be fine. He's young. He doesn't have any pre-existing conditions. He'll get past it.
Oh yeah, he has all
And he'll
sorts
learned
of.
a valuable lesson.
He has all kinds of jerky things to do in the future. He's not done yet. Don't worry.
That's right.
All right, let's now do the news for real.
Okay.
Here's a story. A Flushier teenager. I don't know where this is. This must be in
Full shear.
Fulshire.
Houston?
What did I say?
Well,
Flushier.
Flushier. I think Houston, because that's from the Cron.com, and I believe that is the Houston Chronicle.
Well, that sounds all right.
'Cause I done been there.
You done been there. You done did that.
I done been there. Done did that install down there in the Houston Chronicle.
Yeah, I've been in front of their computers.
Mm-hmm.
This teenager took down a nearly 400-pound feral hog that was terrorizing a Texas ranch.
Wow.
Yeah, tough kid, right? It's pretty good.
No kidding. I'm glad the headline puts nearly in front of nearly 400 pound instead of nearly takes down 400-pound feral hog.
Yeah, nearly is
That would
not
have
as.
implied that the hog won.
There-
That's great.
Yeah, this seems good. The feral hog for feral hog trapping expert Steve Neese of Fulshire, killing feral hogs in Texas ranches is like killing a cockroach in your kitchen. They're pretty bad, I guess. They're everywhere.
And
I don't know a lot.
they do a lot
about
of
it.
damage to crops and stuff.
Yeah, like if they're that big of a nuisance, you could see. I mean, it's easy for somebody somewhere else to go, "Oh, the poor little piggies." No, that's different there.
Someone is going to take issue with the fact that we, railed on this kid for punching a cow, and then we're like, you killed a feral hog? Good for you, kid.
Yeah, it's okay. Let them rage. It's fine.
Okay, rage against this machine.
Our machine is here to be raged against. It's fine. Says that's the way Texans think about feral hogs, says Neese, age 40. It's a non-native, very invasive species. The numbers are staggering. about what kind of damage they're causing to landowners, and they are spreading toward urban and metro areas. I mean, actually, I kind of look forward to the day when there are pigs just all over the city. That would be something else.
Houston now overrun by pigs,
Right.
by feral hogs.
Feral hogs. Wouldn't you just round them up and slaughter them and then make ham? That's what you do, right? Just
Yes, yeah.
make meat out of it.
I don't know. Yeah, I assume that feral hog meat is okay to eat.
I would assume so. Niece's primary job is insurance. Okay, I don't care about any of this. Anyway, this teenager, found one, wrangled it, shot it, and then took a picture standing next to it. And now he's the hero of all the farmer types.
It's the hero full shear.
Yeah, welcome, the hero of Fulshire. Give him your bend the knee. I don't know. He seems to be doing just fine with the recognition. All right. Do you remember Nintendo made a PlayStation before there was a PlayStation? Do you remember this? Do you remember that?
No. So it was called the PlayStation?
It was a joint venture between Sony and Nintendo back in the Super NES days, and they were going to make an add-on for the Super NES called the PlayStation. And it was 2 words. The new one the current PlayStation, I think, is one word, maybe capital S, but still 1 word. Anyway, that was the deal. It was a Nintendo-Sony joint project. This is before Sony ever got into video games. This would have been like circa 1996 or 7 that they were actually working on prototypes and that sort of thing. Well, it all fell apart. The deal didn't happen. Nintendo said, no, we're going to do our own thing. Sony says, you know what? So are we. They took the PlayStation name, and the rest is history. However, a couple of prototypes were made, and one of them just went for $360,000 at auction. What this story doesn't say is the person who sold it was offered $1 million before. He turned it down, holding out, thinking he'd get more.
Wow.
He ended up getting a lot less than $1 million.
Whoops.
Yeah, whoops is right. But anyway, a prototype of the Nintendo PlayStation, a console that never came to market, fetched $360,000 in an auction over the weekend. Greg Lamore, founder of Pets.com, by the way, is the guy who sold it.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah.
there you go.
Remember that guy?
Lamour.
Yeah.
Greg Lamour.
There you go. He is also...
Oh, it's Greg McElmore.
Oh, Greg McElmore. Whoops.
Yeah.
He founded...
I'm going to pop some. We got $20 in my pocket.
$360,000.
Okay, anyway. Sorry.
He also did Toys.com, if you remember that as well. Anyway, he had the winning bid, beating out other collectors, including Palmer Luckey, CEO of Oculus VR. I guess Palmer Luckey was trying to get it as well. Palmer Luckey's a little on the outs with people. He's got a bit of a history.
Yeah.
Anyway, the console is one of only 200 prototypes created from the failed 91 partnership. Excuse me about the dates.
Wow.
I thought it was late 90s. Well, no, it wouldn't be because PlayStation was out in 96. So this would have been, that would have been right. 91, 92, something like that. Between Sony and Nintendo, Forbes describes the unit as basically a Super NES with a CD-ROM drive. I don't know that they were trying to... It's not like they had to keep up with what the Sega CD was trying to do because they didn't need to because Sega CD didn't really sell that well. But I do think they saw the writing on the wall that a digital optical format was going to be the future. And then pulled so far back that their next console stayed with cartridges. They didn't even do... Because the N64 was cartridge only, never had discs. Anyway, I love this kind of stuff. Right. It's fun history.
It is cool, although, man, I would have a hard time, unless I just had ridiculous amounts of money, I'd have a hard time justifying spending $360,000 on just something that's basically going to sit in a lucite box on the wall and show off to people.
Yeah, no way I would do it. It's not worth it. I mean, like you say, if you had billions and you're just sitting around on your money, yeah, okay, fine. It means nothing then. But, $360,000 to a billionaire is like you spending 20 on Amazon. It's not a big deal.
Right.
But the reason it's so rare is there were 200 prototypes, but the other 199 of them were destroyed. At least everyone believes that all of them are gone. So right now it's like the only thing you got. Matuba in the chat says, wasn't this the Famicom? No. The Famicom was the Japanese... Well, the Famicom is the Japanese version of the original NES. The Super Famicom was the version of the Super NES in Japan. That was the name of that thing. So the SNES was the Super Famicom. Anyway, according to Polygon, this prototype of the Nintendo PlayStation was discovered by a man named Terry Diebold in a box of stuff once owned by former Sony Computer Entertainment head Olaf Olafsson.
Wow.
The two had both worked for Advanta Corporation when the company went bankrupt. The console was one of many items that ended up in a private auction, which is how Diebold acquired it. Oh man, I wish I was that guy. I would love to have made $360,000 this week. Says this Mick Lamore guy who bought it says the console is the single most expensive thing I've ever bought outside of this house. Adding it was worth it, especially when combined with the rest of my collection. Apparently, he's got 800 coin-operated arcade machines, as well as smaller games, magazines, and art. He wants to create a permanent museum, according to Forbes.
See, that's cool. They've got something like that, and I know you've seen it. We've talked about it because your daughter's probably helped curate some of the stuff, but at the university, the gaming place at the university, they've got a bunch of great museum pieces.
We're going to donate this Mooncrest cabinet out there. As soon as I can get,
cool.
As soon as I get somebody with a truck, I need a truck.
A Sega Game Gear to it.
Oh, very nice. Oh, that's cool. I had a Game Gear for all of its 4-minute battery life. It was awesome. That thing. It was so bad with batteries, dude. That thing just drained them. Oh, it was terrible. Well, you had one. It was bad, right? Do you remember that?
It was bad. It was bad. I just remember playing a lot of X-Men. There was an X-Men game for the Game Gear. It came packed with some Sonic game. I think I maybe over the course of its life only had 4 or 5 Game Gear games because it was like, I'm not crazy about this thing. There was even a TV. I didn't have it, but there was a thing you could get that would let it do. That would turn it into an over-the-air antenna TV.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could take. Yeah, I remember wanting that real bad. I didn't do it either. But I remember thinking, dude, I can watch NBC out on the road.
Right, exactly. That's what it would be. Exactly.
Oh, it's so dumb now. You think about it.
Yeah.
Compared to what we ended up with instead, it's just so dumb.
Oh, there's the game. That's it. J.K. Grammer. Like one of the only games prior to current stuff that had Psylocke in it. So if you wanted to play a game that had Psylocke, you had to have the Game Gear X-Men game.
And who doesn't, really?
Right, who doesn't? Exactly.
Who doesn't want to play Psylocke?
Looks like the old Popeye game. Looks like Castle X-Men and X-Menelvania.
Oh yeah, look at that. Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. We're gonna look at this video for a second. Let's skip this ahead here. So, that Game Gear screen is so tiny.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there it is. So it was like it wasn't 16-bit and it wasn't quite 8-bit. It was something in between.
Right.
And I even had a Nomad. Do you remember the Sega Nomad by chance? Do you remember them making that?
Sega Nomad. That wasn't the one you had to hold sideways, right? That wasn't the side.
No, it was a side one, but it was a portable Genesis. You literally could put.
Oh, okay.
All right. You could put like actual Genesis cartridges in that thing, and I loved it. Oh, I was so into it. And I also what else? I had all the Sega shit. I had the 32X, the Sega CD, the stackable one.
See, I hardly had any Sega platform stuff. I had the Genesis and I had the Dreamcast and the Game Gear, and that's it. That's the only.
It's a good run though. It's a good.
I mean, three out of however. It's not too bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
I've had every Sony iteration and every Nintendo iteration. Except for the I never did get the Jaguar.
Oh, that was Atari Jaguar. Yeah.
I never did get the what was the 3D Virtual Boy? I never did get a Virtual Boy.
Hey, don't feel too bad because no one else bought either of those things either. So
right.
Don't feel bad.
Exactly.
Actually, was the Virtual Boy even? It was released, right? People could buy it.
Oh, it was totally released. Oh, yeah. I remember seeing it at, I remember looking at it at like a GameStop or whatever, a Babbage's or something, saying, oh, yeah, look at that. There's a Virtual Boy. And
yeah, I'll bet those are super collectible right now.
I probably put my eyes on the same lenses that every other person who walked into that GameStop did as well.
Well, we were some years away from our next pandemic, so everything was fine.
That's true. Exactly.
The Jaguar was garbage, and no one should have bought it, and I'm glad nobody did because it was poop. And also, I was going to say this. Someone in the chat room said, didn't the SNES come out before the NES? No. It's the other way around. NES, Super NES. Get it? Because one's just Nintendo Entertainment System. The next one's the Super Nintendo
It's like how Super Mario Brothers came out after Mario Brothers.
Right. Super means next, right? Like,
well, in video game, it's sequel-ish.
Sequel-ish. And mostly in Nintendo lingo. Because then later, 64, they thought would be a cool thing to put on the end of everything they made.
Right.
And that's
So
kind
I
of
could
dumb
get a
now.
used Nintendo Virtual Boy, headset only, $230. This one's includes console, stand, visor, controller, and a AA battery pack for
How much?
$350.
$350.
So $350 looks like it's about if you want a used Virtual Boy, which I don't.
Wait,
I imagine there's got to be something you can put on the Oculus Quest that simulates the Virtual Boy, right? Like gives you vector.
Probably.
Yeah,
Probably.
vector games.
Dude, Vector's. I mean, you're a fan, obviously. You love the Vector.
I love Vector. I got a Tempest machine right there because I love Vector. I have a Vectrex right there because I love Vector.
Vectrix is amazing. I want a full cabinet version of Star Castle. Do you remember Star Castle?
Oh, it was the best.
So
The
good.
problem with Star Castle is you need the little color overlay
Yep.
because the colors were built into the glass and not in the cabinet itself.
Yeah, they were like tape.
It was basically tape.
Colored translucent tape was on those.
Yeah, Star Castle
Space
was the
Invaders did the
best.
same thing for a while. If you played an
right.
official Space Invaders machine, they had literally tape in rows, so that when the monsters would come down, it looked like they changed from yellow to blue, but really they just moved from the tape zone to the next tape zone.
Right.
It was great.
I want to say there was one of the asteroids. Maybe Deluxe had something like that. Maybe not. No, that wouldn't.
No,
work.
Deluxe. I remember Deluxe. They tried to make it look 3D because they had the screen and then a weird reflector thing. So wasn't the screen actually up on top, and it reflected down onto a mirror
they
that
did
also
with
had
a
stuff
few-
behind it, and then it looked 3D, like it was overlaid on something or whatever it was. That was cool.
Asteroids Deluxe was great.
Oh, it was great. It's great. I mean, I love the original too, but Asteroids. I used to rock at Asteroids.
I'm gonna play some Asteroids Deluxe when we're done on the Covercade.
Nice. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, Steve, that's Monday. Bill Duran will be here. That's right. And then we'll get Jury on, see where we're at with the world of politics now that we're so many candidates down and so many endorsements up, and what it all means, and what's this year look like for the world of this. Also may get his take on, I don't know, just all these people being quarantined that are in politics, whether that has any real effect.
Well, I mean,
anything.
what is it going to do to the like conventions and
rallies?
Will
and
have an
stuff.
effect on going to polling places. Will there be way more people voting by mail instead?
Yeah, I don't know. We're about to find out.
When we'll check in with Bill and Jerry.
We'll do that though only in the shadow of a song that you play. What do you have?
Yeah, let's rock out. These guys are awesome. This is a band from St. Louis, Missouri. Big thanks to Earshot Media for hooking me up with this one. Brand new single from the band called New Lingo. Really cool rock stuff here, rock band. Just hit the genre. They're the rock band. I mean, they're like, a heavy rock, heavy alternative band. Memory Lane is the brand new song. It's produced by the guy who produced music for Paramore, Under Oath, and Hands Like Houses, James Paul Wisner. Here is their new song, Memory Lane.
Well, I think it's quite clearly obvious that they are utterly disgusting and must do, in fact, disgust any decent-minded people, as I know by having interviewed them and talked to them beforehand after this publication in the local paper.
Now we are here to go home.
The Morning Stream. Don't worry about him. Worry about me.
All right, we're back, everybody. We are back to it. And we're going to bring Bill Duran in, whether he wants to or not. That's going to be the deal. But I look forward to it, because we always do. Here's a little theme for him here.
Your bat cave's open there, Bill.
Hello, Bill. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing all right.
Oh, that's fantastic. It's Bill Duran. Hey, how can your state's got all kinds of viruses? Just watch out. Just be careful.
All kinds of viruses in your state.
Yeah, you got the.
Yeah.
Do they just? Go ahead.
We our life has changed not at all. We go from our house to our shop and back.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Although no appearance at the Emerald City Comic Con, I guess now. 'cause
No,
that
it got pushed back. It's probably for the best.
Yeah. Do you think-
I, for one, am looking forward to not doing anything this weekend.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's this weekend. It must be a little bit weird, but it's not like you've got. See, I feel bad for anybody who's boothing at that thing because now they've got to postpone, literally part of their business. But thankfully, you've got your hand in all sorts of cookie jars and don't have to worry about that quite as much. Well, anyway, wash those hands and
absolutely
don't put your tools in your face or whatever. Clean. Yeah, stay clean. Yeah. All right. Hey, Bill's here. He's often here on Tuesdays to talk about the world of making things. Oh, Bill. Oh, it's over there. I can't show you. Or maybe I can. Yeah, I can. Hold on. You won't be able to see it. But,
okay.
The chat room will. Okay, hold on. All right, I got it. So last week after we talked to you, I got all inspired because you're a bastard and get me doing things I shouldn't spend money on, but I did it anyway. I bought myself a big chunk of Monster Clay.
Oh, yes.
That beast of clay. Oh, it's even pre-measured into little blocks so you can separate out.
It is. It's a 10-pounder bag thing.
Oh my god.
And I got a big bag of tools. So a whole bunch of these like wood shaping, metal shaping tool stuff. There's like 50 things in there. And then I haven't opened it yet, but then I bought a Jack Richardson and Company aluminum wiring harness thing, loom.
Oh,
so that
right.
when
So you can armature kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah, so I can do all that stuff as needed. So, damn it, Bill, look at this. I'm going to make shit.
I know.
It's great.
Now all you have to do is open the packages and start doing stuff
I
with
know.
it.
Yeah.
I know. That'll be soon. But here's the thing. The reason I'm doing it is I used to do it all the time, and I don't know why I got away from it. I used to love sculpting. I used to love doing that stuff. I used to even take things to a local kiln and have it burned and all that thing. So I'm gonna do stuff. It's all because of you.
The Monster Clay is reusable. Like you wouldn't use it for the final product, so you can just sculpt and sculpt and sculpt, and then tear it apart and start again.
Mm-hmm. I'm thinking about
great for practice.
Thinking about doing stuff that I can scan.
Animate?
Well, animate,
Sure.
yes, but I need some sort of 3D scanner, and I don't have one.
Sure.
So, got to figure.
Here's
that
another
out.
thing.
Yeah.
You could sculpt something and then make a silicone mold of it, and then make castings of it.
Oh my gosh! And then before you know it, I'm making guns, and I live in Seattle. It'll be great.
If you want it, if that's once you start sculpting, if you want to go down the mold making route, you just give me a holler.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
Yep.
I'm very much excited though, because it's been a while, and I've got space for it now because the kids' desks are gone, and I can just make this space over here work for me, and I'm stoked. So
that's awesome.
Thanks for the inspiration.
You got it.
Very cool.
So today he'll inspire us again with something else.
Right.
What's going on today?
I sure will. There is a game out. I say game in the loosest sense of the term. There is an application out that you can purchase for the PlayStation 4 called Dreams.
Oh, right.
Came out within the last year. Brittany and I only learned
still
about
open
it this
beta,
week.
right? Isn't it still open beta or something? Or
I think it's out. Like I went and bought it on the PlayStation Store.
Okay.
You just go get it. It's like $40. When I first took a peek at it, it looked like, oh, this is a little application you can use on your PlayStation to make little video games. And you can. But there's a ton more to it. And we dove into it this weekend, did some tutorials, and started to learn about what's possible. And it's pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah, this is the Media Molecule guys that did all the Sackboy games,
Little Big Planet.
Little Big Planet games, yeah.
Oh, cool.
So in all the Little Big Planet games, you could go and create your own levels and share them, and other people could play them. And that was super fun. It seems like what they did was they took everything they learned about making those creation tools for people and wrapped it up in a new game that focuses primarily on creation.
Mm-hmm.
So when you buy this game, it does ship with a couple of the games that they made to sort of show off what it can do, which is really cool. You can go in and play them. But the real goal is for players to go in and make their own experiences for one another. So, for example, some of these experiences you can check out. Like I said, you can make little video games if you want. You could make still art. You can make animation, both 2D and 3D. You can do interactive storytelling. You can do physics experiments. It's got a built-in physics engine. It's got built-in coding and logic so that you can code stuff. You can use it for prototypes, which is actually something I'm interested in, is using a space like this to quickly create prototypes for something that I might want to make that is large, something that would need some testing in a large interactive environment, but I don't want to go actually build a room-sized thing because that would be expensive. I could prototype it in a space like this and play test it in a space like this for almost nothing.
Sure.
Which is really cool.
Yeah. I love that kind of thing. It kind of makes me wish this was I mean, they've made. There's. I think Sony even owns that studio now, or has a big stake in it. So we're never going to probably see this in too many other places. But since Sony's starting to put some of their stuff on PC, I would love this on the PC. Cause
right. Yeah, where you get a little bit more control and not just 4 buttons and a joystick and shoulder buttons.
Yeah.
So you can do all this with the normal PlayStation controller, but you can also use the PlayStation Move controllers, which is what I was using.
Mm-hmm.
There is a bit of a learning curve, but it seems like a pretty good way to interact with a 3D environment. The thing I'm very much looking forward to is VR support, because I've got a PlayStation VR, and if I could both create things like this in VR with my Move controllers and literally just walk around the scene I'm making, which sounds awesome.
That does sound awesome.
Or create experiences like that that are intended for VR. So if I'm prototyping a large project of some kind, I can then chuck on the VR headset, hit play, and run my playtest of this large project or experiment in virtual reality and interact with it one-to-one, hands-on.
That would be amazing. Yeah.
Sounds so freaking cool.
So this thing's been around for a while. Came out in 2017 or 2018?
Well, that's what I'm saying about the beta thing, because it's been open and for sale at a cheaper price for a long time, and that's been considered their beta period. But they haven't really been ahead of the PR on it and really explained themselves in that regard. So if it's out in full now,
I think it is.
Okay.
I saw Giant Bomb talking about it a day or two ago, and my buddy Jazza started playing with it. So it could be they made a little bit of a push to get the word out. I just heard about it.
Yeah, it's been announced forever, and they've been working on it forever, and it's been highly broadly anticipated. I mean, whether or not they. I worry that they're toward the end of a console cycle here, and I hope maybe that this will just work on the next console and be backwards compatible.
Next one,
So one of the things that excites me the most about this is how much they integrate their whole community into every step of the creation process. When you create something, you can choose if you want. You can choose to share it and say, "Hey, if anyone, I made a birdhouse. If anyone wants to use my birdhouse in their creation, go for it. In fact, you can take my birdhouse, you can change it however you want.
If you want.
Yeah, exactly. And what's neat is,
nice.
If I'm running around in a game and I see this birdhouse, I can be like, "Yo, that's a cool birdhouse," and I can view its legacy, its lineage. I can see who created the original. I can see all the different remixes that have been made. They built in not just the sharing, but the credit for art in a way that encourages people to share things with one another.
Right.
So what's happened is people have started to specialize. So if you go on their Dream Scope or whatever they call it, you go search for stuff. You could be like, "Hey, I want trees," and there's a guy who's like, "Dude, I made all the trees. They're in different collections. Go nuts."
Go take your pick. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a little daunting if you're making a video game and you're like, "Well, my video game needs trees. Do I have to be a tree specialist now?" It's like, no, someone else got trees covered. Don't worry about it. You just worry about gameplay. Make a fun game. And I think that's really neat. People are getting well known for being good at one particular type of craft, and it's sort of unlocking a lot of potential for a lot more people.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm watching a teaser right now for what looks like a Skyrim looking survival game. The guy just built a small house and put a campfire in it and read his quests off a map, and he's had a big axe, and now I'm watching some action game with some dude who just fought somebody and is running to go kill somebody else. Like, I've seen 2D side scrollers that look like they were made for the NES. I've seen vast 3D worlds that look like they're next gen, PlayStation 5 graphics. Like, I'm a little blown away by it. I find the whole thing just kind of fascinating, and I need to just get it and see what's in there.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be tinkering with this a bit and seeing what I can unlock. I'll keep you guys up to date what we if I make anything neat.
Really cool.
Yeah.
These weird little platformers. Like, let's see what this guy's made some sort of mech. Oh, that's the other thing I heard. Somebody figured out a way to make. Basically, they made Fallout in the game.
Yeah.
And so what people are looking at right now on screen, people at home, you're looking at what you think is Fallout. That's not Fallout. That's Dreams, and somebody recreating Fallout.
Replicated. Oh, that's
absolutely
amazing.
Yeah.
That's nuts to me. And there's a Red Dead. Somebody did a Red Dead thing, and it's banana time.
Why couldn't stuff like this come out when I was a kid and I had much more time?
Right.
I've been saying that all week.
This is so true, man. Somebody remade PT. What? Oh, shit. All right, I'm going to have to get it. All right. Well, this is awesome. I love it. I love the closer we get to, like, I assume you've used, like, Tilt Brush before, right? In VR?
Yeah.
The more of that stuff we get, the better, man. I just love creation tools in that space, and I wish there was more. I know there's some cool, like, sculpty kind of things where, you can do some pretty neat things. Now that all the Oculus higher-end headsets support hand tracking, I hope that gets just better and better so that you're actually molding objects with the kind of fidelity that you would in real life. Like, I just want to just keep going. Keep going, man.
You got it.
Yeah.
This may be the thing that pulls you out of No Man's Sky.
It might, because I'm super into that right now. And that game, in its own way, is weird that way. There's a planet. Yeah. There's a planet somewhere out in the middle of nowhere that you'll never find accidentally. That the devs found and couldn't believe they did this. So they show this thing, and somebody had made a song that just repeats the whole time using a bunch of stuff, because you can make music in the game now. And it's just a repeating, all this machine laying out on the ground, and it's just repeating, and I forgot the song. Shoot. It's like some Bowie song or something.
That's cool.
And it just plays in perpetuity on some
planet. You can do more in AR or VR games that you can control your environment. You can do more than just draw dicks.
Yeah, it's true. It's more than just dicks. More than dicks.
Just dicks.
Yeah.
Also in Dreams, there's a full engine for creating music and sounds. That's like worth the price of admission on its own. Like $40 just for those tools are worth it all on their own. It's bonkers.
That is bonkers.
So there are people, like I was saying before, who are just making music for people to use in their other creations.
Yeah. That's super intense. All right. Well, I don't know how you beat that, but anything else you want to add today, or any bonus stuff you got there for us?
I've got a video for you guys to check out. Sculpture Geek. Speaking of sculpting, Scott, you're gonna want to go watch a bunch of his videos. By the way,
Okay.
Sculpture Geek on
I can't watch it in IRC. I've got to actually click on it.
Over on YouTube. He did a really great Sonic the Hedgehog for the new movie, I imagine, and it's awesome.
Let's take a look at this.
Yeah, I believe he also has tutorials. He probably has a link in the video of Scott if you want to go check out some of the tutorials he sells for sculpting. And if there's a guy you want to learn monster clay sculpting from, it's this guy.
It's this guy. Oh, look
Kidding.
at this.
This is the stuff you just bought. Look at this.
Oh, wow. Yeah, people in the chat are like, Scott, you should stream it. I'm like, not when I see people like this stream.
Yeah, maybe do the first couple tries solo
on your own.
For all I know, I really suck, and I probably should do a couple before I go for it. Oh yeah, look at this. This is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really starts to get into in about 2 minutes 14 seconds.
Yeah. So just do that, Scott.
Yeah, just do that, Scott.
Okay, I'll just do that. That movie was fun, by the way. I had a good time in it.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, it's more fun than it should be. Like,
cool.
It's a decent, good time at the theater. Oh, look how he did those quills on there. Are you kidding me? This guy's good. All right, well, that's why he showed it to us, I guess.
There you go.
Yeah, and he just stick a clump on here and then just smooth it in, boom. And it's too instant. It's too wow, that thing is smooth and cool.
So wait, did he paint the...
No, he made a mold and he cast it.
Oh, he cast it,
So it's
okay.
a urethane plastic.
All right. All right, that's awesome.
Jeez, this is incredible.
Amazing
Wow.
as always. Go check that one out. Again, that channel is Sculpture Geek, and you can find that
Oh, is he using like a butane torch or something on this?
Yeah, he's melting the
Yeah,
air.
for the
and-
clay.
Clay? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
that
that's cool.
crazy?
Wow.
Nuts. All right. These people are good. All right. Bill Durant,
Not
everybody.
Just for creme brulee.
Check him out at punchprops.com. His channel is on YouTube. And, of course, Chinbeard on Twitter. Bill, have a fantastic day.
Later.
Bye now. Okay. Well,
Super cool. This is really amazing.
it is good. That movie's fun. I'm telling people they should see it, especially with your kids. If you don't have kids, I think it's still good. Wait for, maybe DVD or later or whatever. Not DVD, but
DVD.
It's 1999,
Yeah.
Brian. DVDs, okay?
I'll
DVDs.
call, leave a message on my friend's answering machine and see if he wants to go. Tina still uses like MapQuest, or still says MapQuest. Like, well, I was trying to find the place, so I pulled it up on MapQuest. I mean, you mean Google Maps, Tina?
She called it
Yeah, you know what I
MapQuest?
mean.
Really? That's awesome.
MapQuest.
Hats
yes.
off to Tina. I think that's fun.
Every time she says it, I give her crap. MapQuest.
MapQuest. No one uses MapQuest except maybe this guy.
These are their stories.
Oh, I'm terrible with names.
I'm terrible with names except for one. That's Justin Robert Young, Lord of all he surveys, comes on Tuesdays, talking politics. Justin, welcome to the show. How are you?
Oh man, I used to print out directions on MapQuest.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
That was I used to go from Florida to Syracuse in college, and I would print out the just like 5 pages of directions.
Totally. Yeah, I did too. Like, I'd go out to do an install for a customer, and I'd have like my favorite one was up in your neck of the woods. Flew into San Francisco, then went across the bridge, and then did like Vallejo and Vacaville and like all these newspapers up the, up north of that area.
Wow.
And MapQuested all the way.
Well, it's because that's the only option you had, because it was computer only.
Yeah.
Really, there was no phones yet, so all we could do is print that stuff and roll with it. And I remember doing that too.
And it was the coolest. That was rad, right? And,
Yeah.
and I mean, like long before phones, were even really even texting had kind of taken off at that point, but certainly no rich browser stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
Wow.
Well, it's
Yeah,
good.
that was in 2004 when podcasting was just starting, because I used that drive time to talk to ASCAP and BMI about licensing cover songs.
It's weird to think that as early or as late as 2004, we were still not phone stuff. I feel like the phones have never not been here, but you'd be another 4 years before you'd have one like this.
Yeah.
And even then, they had a long ways to go. I don't know, man.
Totally.
Life comes at you pretty fast. Sometimes what's the phrase? What's the old quote?
If you don't stop and look around every once in a while, you might miss it.
You might miss it.
Exactly.
That's right. So put a dummy in your bed and make your parents think you're sick.
Exactly. That's the way that we should be living, baby.
That's what I'm saying. All right, Justin Robert Young joining
That's
us.
what I'm going to be doing. It's going to be my version of Ferris Bueller's Day Off, but it'll be the local police trying to enforce a quarantine. And I'm just going to be out there stealing cars and making...
Oh, hello, officer. It's thanks for stopping by. I'm doing fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you you're not worried at all about all the rallies you've been to that you may have come away with any of this, do you? Or you're not worried about that? Why would you be?
I'm not worried about the rallies or anything, no. I mean, I guess theoretically the planes might be more of a thing, but no, in general, I like to take a positive mental attitude when it comes to this sort of stuff, and just be diligent, wash my hands, and otherwise steadfastly believe that I'm impervious to disease and death.
Oh, all right. That's a decent position to take in these modern
I
times.
actually went looking for that ship. That ship docked off the the harbor in Oakland. I went looking for it yesterday.
I thought it docked now. Isn't it done? Aren't they off there?
Yeah, no, in Oakland.
Yeah, no, but I thought that one was. I thought I saw Molly Wood saying that particular ship had now been docked and people are in. Like they got people off of it. Did I hear that wrong? Maybe I heard that wrong.
No, yeah, you did.
He went to look for the ship after the people got off.
The ship is still there. That one's a hide one.
Oh,
hard one to hide.
I see. Yeah. So what were you hoping to gain from that? What were you going to do? Just see it and go, there's that ship I've heard so much about.
I just wanted to see it. I mean, I also kind of wanted the audio because I was doing the PX3 Extra, so I kind of wanted that little NPR audio of here I am, and I basically just went I couldn't find it. It was on the other side, and so it was a lot harder to get to. So I just figured that was close enough to I was next to the Oakland Harbor, so like I could just say that I was there, and for all intents and purposes, I was.
You kind of were, yeah. You were within the vicinity. So all these Republican dudes getting quarantined, self-quarantined for the because they were all at CPAC. That's pretty fun. Especially my favorite part of that was, and chat room, don't take it as I want people to get it. I just mean there's irony here because they were up on stage, going, it's Democratic panic. They're just trying to take down the president, like Mulvaney and all those guys. And then, and then these actual guys got the actual thing. I mean, irony's not dead, is what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I, to be totally honest, I don't even know how much I want to mention politics. I really think it's kind of irresponsible, to be honest. Like this is obviously a serious thing. Mm-hmm. We can take I think a critical eye at any kind of government response to something like this, and I think there's certainly room to I don't know. I just kind of feel like this is something where nuance is really important.
Yeah, of course it is.
If it turns into a dunking thing, then people stop paying attention.
No, I agree, but you got to admit, if Matt Gaetz is going to show up to the congressional floor,
wait, all right. So is the point here that we're trying to make that Gaetz is kind of a putz?
No,
yes, we can agree.
No, he's not kind of a putz.
He's a putz who wore a gas mask, which was a dumb political stunt. And yes, he sure looks like the horse's ass. I think that we could if that's where we're going, then sure. But
no, we don't have to go there. I'm just making the point that there's nothing wrong with scrutinizing that because he's a dick for doing it, and now he's in quarantine. It's a thing you can talk about. It's all right. It doesn't mean I want him dead.
I mean, all right, that's fine.
It doesn't mean I want him dead or I want the rest of the world to catch this disease. I just think it's okay to point out dick behavior when dick behavior happens. Disagree?
Okay.
Disagree?
No. It's your show. You can say what you want.
Okay, well, let's talk about what you want to talk about. What do you got? What do you want to talk about? We got Biden. That's a thing.
We got the primaries.
Yeah.
Yep. What is the next big
tonight.
milestone? I know that there's voting going on, right?
Yeah,
now,
so
today?
Michigan is really where all the eyes are tonight.
Okay.
There's a couple other states. Washington, I think, is the second biggest. But 4 years ago, Bernie Sanders had to kind of resurrect his campaign that led us to going, further into the cycle than we would have normally expected in a two-person race, because he shocked the world. And despite the fact that all polling showed that he was going to get blown out in Michigan, Bernie Sanders won a narrow victory. 4 years later, he's basically in the exact same position. He needs to win Michigan. If not, it's going to become increasingly remote that he really has any kind of realistic shot at erasing Joe Biden's delegate lead. And there's a couple states that are really unfavorable to Bernie coming up, including Florida, which is where I will be this weekend to cover their vote next Tuesday. But it's remarkable that we're right back in here, and Bernie Sanders is counting on a polling error of dozens of points at this point. I mean, there's one that had Joe Biden up like 40 points or something. And that's an outlier, but certainly I think the Real Clear Politics average has Biden up like 23. So it's going to be interesting, and the question is, did Biden outmaneuver Bernie by securing all those endorsements at the right time? And is the dream just kind of dead for Bernie? And that's part of the picture that we're going to find out tonight.
So the old prediction that Biden was going to not bail, but this was going to be it for him. I mean, do you think there's no chance of that now?
No.
This is
no. That ship has sailed, especially considering that was really more of a Mayor Pete pick. I thought that Mayor Pete, that Joe Biden looked so terrible in those first couple states, and he was going to be more useful as a surrogate to somebody with less baggage and maybe a little bit more alert sensibilities than to go up not only against Bernie but also then against Trump, that they would basically slaughter Biden for his clout and they would award it to whomever they would like to anoint, and Pete looked like the best person there, but Pete couldn't really take a step forward with black voters. Joe Biden was the guy who was going to be able to get that Clyburn endorsement, and that was that. This is Joe Biden's world. There's short of a major medical event, based on what we have seen so far, it looks like the establishment wing of the party has put all of their chips in on Joe Biden, and the voters, at least through South Carolina and Super Tuesday, seem to agree with them.
Do you think, give me a prediction on who you think vice president, what vice president does he go with from a strategic decision point of view? There's
two things that I've been paying attention to. A few reminders. Number one, Joe Biden has floated the idea that he's only going to be a one-term president. So a vice president means something a little bit different from a little bit different than it would normally, where you would say like, I think it's like a Tammy Duckworth is like a senator from Illinois or some other Midwestern politician, maybe a woman that you would pick because that would be strategically advantageous for the map. There is now a school of thought, and Joe Biden has floated out VP names from before he actually officially got into the race, that he wants somebody that effectively you are going to the polls and saying, Biden now, the VP in 4 years.
In 4 years, yeah.
Right?
Okay. It's a training position, basically. You're grooming for the next presidency. Yeah.
So at that point, you now have the qualifications are a little bit different. You want somebody with a little bit more name recognition. You want somebody that's going to be able to maybe cut a better figure as president than Joe Biden does currently. And if that's the case, there are two visions that I can't get out of my head. Number one, despite the fact that I think that there's an overwhelming possibility that this will be a woman, if not a woman of color, on the ticket, there is the fact that Mayor Pete is very popular with college-educated women. And he's young, and he would be a progressive pick because he's gay. If it's going to be a guy, I think it's going to be Mayor Pete because he animates a certain sector of the populace that will need to turn out on election day. And again, young. That's where I think Elizabeth Warren, between Medicare for All and her age, kind of makes it less likely. But there's one vision that I can't get out of my head. And that is, as the confetti's falling at the Democratic National Convention, Barack Obama on one side, hands raised, holding Joe Biden's hand, Joe Biden's other hand raised, holding Kamala Harris's hand. And that's what you're selling. Joe Biden is an old white man bridge between the first and second black presidents of the United States and the first woman president of the United States.
That could be interesting. I like Harris, so sure, why not?
Yeah, I like that pick a lot.
Yeah, she's all right.
That's more just me in my head thinking there's just that just seems like a thing that people would respond to. Like that's a vision that people want. They want to put on newspapers. Now, I've always said the Democratic candidates tend to get elected when they're the laminate the newspaper candidate, right? They're the first of a thing, sure. And that's changed a couple times, but that's usually the branding that's successful with them. When you look at Biden, there's not a lot of laminate the newspaper with him, right? Like he is literally just it's a time machine so we can forget Trump is basically his best pitch. And if that's the case, then Kamala gives you a little bit of that.
And it's a good she's a good counter to the people who argue that he's out of touch, because she's very much
She's very much part of the reason that he was labeled as that. You know, when
Right,
she
yeah.
when she
Well, yeah, that's a
initially
good point.
destroyed him at the
during the
debate
debate.
over last summer, and said, hey, you talking really cozily about out racist and segregationist is awful, and also you voted against busing, and that directly hurt me when I was a girl.
Right, yeah.
Well, I guess we'll see. How do you think he'll do against Trump? Like debate-wise, everybody in the chat seems to think that it's a foregone conclusion that he'll be terrible at it, and that Trump will eat his lunch, and that'll be the end of that, and that Bernie would have been a better debater v. Trump, that sort of thing. Predictions on that?
But what do you think?
What do I think?
Yeah,
I think that Bernie would have been a better debater. Yeah. He would have been better at it.
He just really, if Biden goes up against Trump in the debates, he's just got to be so prepared for the lowest of the low attacks and how to counter them without mumbling and stumbling over his words, and be ready for name calling, be ready for throwing sand, everything, you know?
Yeah. I don't know how they do that. I think that's going to be a real challenge. I don't necessarily subscribe to the idea that he's not going to do, that it's zero chance against him. But I think that it's stacked against him a little bit. Bernie seems like somebody who would have really ripped into him. Warren was probably going to be a better stage battler than Biden
both of those
ever would
two
be.
seem unflappable. Biden seems flappable.
Yeah.
if that's a term.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the significance of the debates are going to be necessarily. Because this is not a world where we have not seen these guys talk a lot, right? We see them talk all the time. For Biden, that is kind of more of a detriment. So I don't know what we'll learn at a debate that we had not seen before. Usually it's like avoiding the massive mistake is mostly the issue. The larger thing that I think would happen at a debate is that Biden is somebody that makes Democrats stay home. That this is something where it's like, I don't know. Like, there's just not like enthusiasm on the same level. And part of the danger is you'd have to worry if you are. I mean, if you're a Democrat, the worst case scenario would be that Joe Biden looks a lot better next to Bernie Sanders than he looks next to Donald Trump. And that Donald Trump is selling something that is far closer to Democratic centrism than what Bernie Sanders is. And so therefore the widest gulf ideologically is Biden and Sanders. And so when it comes down to it, and obviously, look, there's a lot of this coronavirus stuff is going to affect what happens in November. Right now the stock market tanked. It has done this, this week and last week. There's been some fluctuations where it's come back a little bit, but if this is still a situation where we're dealing with coronavirus, where the market hasn't recovered, or that this coronavirus thing exposed underlying elements of the economy that were going to show themselves eventually, but instead of showing themselves now, then effectively Donald Trump's best pitch is taken away from him. An incumbent president with a good economy is very hard to beat. If he doesn't have a good economy, then he's a lot easier to beat. The other side of it is true. If, let's say, we weather this coronavirus thing and then the economy kind of picks up where it left off, or there's some sort of economic stimulus that patches it up, then now he's the guy who weathered the storm, right? Especially if there's still problems in other countries when things have by and large gotten back to normal here. In a lot of ways, if Joe Biden is the nominee, I almost feel like watching what happens with the economy and coronavirus is almost more important than anything he could or couldn't say during a debate.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Hopefully in the next couple of months we have a better picture of how long and how far and all that other stuff. So time will tell. Speaking of time, Jerry spends a lot of time doing other cool stuff. Why don't you tell the people where they can get it?
Politics. It's a podcast. Go ahead and check it out. Oh, and also Raise the Dead is an audiobook now. Go to Audible and pick it up. And there's a bonus episode. So even if you listen to the podcast, there's an episode in there that you did not hear because it did not go live there. So spend an Audible credit over there right now and check it out. Raise the Dead, Nixon versus Kennedy, the complete transcripts.
Nice. Justin R. Young on Twitter. Follow him. See ya. All right. Off he goes.
Yeah.
We had a bonus mashup, but I don't know if it showed up. Hold on. Just a second. Oh, that's what this was. All right. So apparently Jamie thinks that I need to remind people that if I play a horror game, they're going to get a certain level of
oh, geez.
entertainment.
Okay.
So he put together sort of a best of sort of thing.
Best of Scott plays video games.
Some might call it worst. Some might call it worst of, but let's find out together as we listen to Scott Plays Bitchy McFrancis Pants is the name of this file. Enjoy. Taco Head, you are dead. I got a Mr. Microphone and I love it. This man's penis is crooked. Shit. Shit on me. Frick! Come here, dick. Shit. What? Oh, I hear his footsteppings. Bing bong. Electronic part. Oh, hey, bud. Ah, is he coming in here? Shit. I was told he couldn't come in here. Ah! Shit. John, this game is doing things you didn't prepare me for. Come here, dick. Electronic part. Shit. Potatoes. Oh, nothing in the shitter. Nothing in the shitter. Ah! What am I to do? I'm gonna run around him. I hate you so bad. No! Run past the cop! Oh, shit! Asshole! Yeah, run! No! Oh, shut up! You've been just hiding down here, you piece of shit. The journey through the penis. Why aren't you coming with me? Taking a shit in the corner? Let's go. No. Don't mind me. I'm just a female protagonist now. I'm temporary. I'm Bitchy McFrancis Pants. Taco Face. It's Taco Face Tuesday. Taco Head Tuesdays. Oh, shit. All right, sexy mama. Oh, friggity poop. Oh, no. I have nowhere to go. Oh, shit. I thought I was done with that. We're going to run like the wind. Oh, jeez, weird lordus. You stupid, raunchy, freaking piece of shit. Hurry up, he's coming. Go, you slow piece of shit. I don't know where to go. Go. Oh, no, shit. Electronic part. Taco Tuesday. I'ma shoot you in the a-hole. Hold still. You hold still, boy. I'm gonna put that straight in your a-hole. Oh, what the frick is that? It looks like we made it. Oh my gosh, dude. That was long.
Wow.
All right. I don't know.
I love the la.
I don't know what the Taco Head talk was, or Taco
the
Tuesday.
Taco Head and Taco Tuesday. Was there a game where some villain you were fighting?
I don't remember what any of that is referring to, but apparently it's something. So well done, Jamie. Yeah, that's coming soon. In April, we'll get a chance to play the Resident Evil 3 remake, which I'm told Nemesis, the big baddie in that thing, can now get into the save rooms. So F that. Oh my gosh. It's going to be real bad. All right. That's it for the show. Hope you enjoyed that. Follow Jamie on Twitter. He's at TMS Mashups. That guy's great. Patreon.com/TMS is how you can support this nonsense. If you'd like to do that, you can. Frogpants.com/TMS is our website. All things are there. That's trying to think of anything else is going on. The instance today at noon. We've changed days.
Instance?
It's not on Sunday, or it's not on Fridays anymore. So the instance is now Tuesdays at noon. We had to shuffle it around for some schedule changes for people, and it's going to be the new day. So stick around or come back in about an hour and a half when it starts. That's noon Mountain Time right here at frogpants.tv each Tuesday of every week.
Crazy. That's crazy, Scott.
It is crazy. Tell me, now play a song. That'd be crazy. Play a song.
This would be crazy.
Yeah.
Thomas, a.k.a. Trumpole in the chat, says, hi, Scott and Brian. Recently on Soundography, you guys talked about Black Oak, Arkansas. And when you mentioned the song Jim Dandy to the Rescue, it immediately reminded me of the cover of that song done by the Wright brothers for the movie Overboard. I thought it'd be interesting to hear a different version of that song, and I remember it being a good cover. Feel free to play this on another day if it would make more sense. Signed, Thomas, a.k.a. Trumpole in the chat. This was Black Oak, Arkansas. I talked about how I only knew one song by Extreme. I didn't know any songs by Black Oak, Arkansas when we got into that band, which is great. That's kind of the best thing about Soundography of these brand new bands we've never heard anything by.
Sure.
So cool. So Black Oak, Arkansas had a song, Jim Dandy to the Rescue. The Wright brothers covered it on the 2008 album Man Overboard. I don't know if this was for the movie Overboard, the soundtrack as well, but they definitely included it on their own album called Man Overboard. Here is Jim Dandy to the Rescue.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network.
Frog Pants Network.
Get more shows like this at frogpants.com.
The Pope on a pogo stick.
I'd like to see that.
I would pay good money for it. I would even pay to see Jonathan Pryce do it.